Thursday.
Okay, but I can just ask them if they would entertain
Yeah,
anything
she can
like
send that
that.
stuff to you.
They ask them the question.
Are you ready? All right, we'll call the meeting to order.
Are you cheating?
All right, you ready?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Strike on.
All right, roll call. Denise won't be here. She's excused. And Pam's on vacation. Excused.
Microphone's got to be.
Mic's on or mic's on?
Can you hear me now?
How about
Okay.
this? How about that?
Nope.
I don't know which one to use. Let's see.
Oh, which one?
Okay.
Just talking, he'll turn you up.
Okay, that one? Okay, I'll use this one. All right, Denise is excused. Pam's on vacation. I'm Jim. Tony Morris.
Present.
And Maria.
Maria Khan. Is this on? I don't know. Am I on?
Maria
Can you hear me?
Khan.
Can you hear me? Could be louder. Could be louder.
You put it up like this.
Most people don't say it could be louder with me. I'm usually pretty loud, so can you hear me now? You can hear me now. Nice, great. Okay, great.
Okay, public input. 3 minutes for citizens to discuss any items within the committee's jurisdiction and not on the agenda. Any comments? You have to stand up in front of the mic up there.
You won't have to speak.
I have a very light voice. Hi, my name is Randy Wilk. I'm from Clear Lake Oaks Hillside resident. I'm going to read this because I want to make sure I got everything in. After the PG undergrounding of our power lines, when PG underground our power lines, the road mediation was very disappointing for our community, probably for many communities in this county as well. Clear Lake Oak Hillside community has deep concerns and disappointment about the recent restoration road work constructed by PG&E on Cerritos and Alta Vista, despite first promises that the entire road would be paved by the county and PG&E. The current state of the roads is incomplete and hazardous. The following issues need to be addressed. Missing roadside berms that existed before. Road still excavated and graded in parts without final pavement. Remaining potholes and ruts. Roads worn and split due to heavy traffic from convoys, tractors, and rollers. Incomplete pavement in several sections. Not all power lines have been undergrounded. They go up to our telephone pole and then they're above ground. Debris and trimming still remains on our roads and has not been cleaned up from PG&E and their contractors. With the winter rains approaching, we are extremely worried about further road erosion and potentially...
Terry over there. Terry, come on. We would just want to reiterate everything that Randy said. We're not going to make a big announcement because he covered all the bases, but But this really needs to get looked at because it's not only hazardous for us, but we also have commercial businesses that access through those roads, and it's dangerous. So thank you for listening, and hopefully the county and PG&E will take care of it for us. Come on, Terry, get up here.
So I'm Terry Ellis. I'm also part of the Clear Lake Oaks hillside on Cerrito Drive. And basically, I have perhaps even win. Thank you for listening.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, anybody else? Okay.
We have no more public input about anything that's not on the agenda? Songs and dances? No, okay.
Okay. Approve the Earth minutes from August 7th.
Who's the Director of Public Services, and then Helix Environmental Planning, the consultant, also gave an overview on what was required per the donation, which is name of the park, youth activity aspect, and rear one-third and wildlife preserve. They opened it up for suggestions from the public. He said that there is nothing off the table, and they welcome all suggestions. So, we heard from quite a bit. Suggestions, of course, included hiking, walking, biking, horseback, dog park, community garden, native plant garden, frisbee golf. A lot of discussion centered around the environment, having it being a resting stop, parking for RVs, visitor kiosk, a bio on Klaus, storytelling about the history of the land, and talking about using it as a learning tool for what Lake County has to offer, and the fact that it's access to the monument in the backcountry and public lands. The shoreline area plan. Basically, nothing's happened on either the general plan or the shoreline area plan this past month. Community development currently has follow-up community surveys for each of the areas in the county, and the survey seeks input on potential changes to land use designations, boundaries, community growth boundaries, as well as potential policies to address issues that were identified during the previous public meetings. They've extended the responses. Basically, the survey is online at lakecounty2050.org. The survey has been extended to September 13th, and so if anybody wants to give some input on how they feel, and it's a long survey, go ahead and do it. So that's it on the shoreline area plan and the general plan.
Any questions?
Did they tell you about the key?
Yes.
Destination?
Yeah. Yeah, thanks.
Okay.
You want me to continue?
Are you done talking or?
For now, but again in a second.
I'm really my time that's the board because no one's here.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Just gonna work on it while you guys do it.
Are we going to move on from the...
Are you ready to move on? Okay. Commercial cannabis report.
Okay, so in terms of the cannabis task force, the cannabis ordering for, so the board had a meeting on this to consider extending the tax cuts or stopping it, and this is what we learned about the cannabis projects. There are currently about 150 cannabis permits approved in the county for a total of 25 million square feet of cannabis cultivation. There's another 15 million square feet of in process for a potential total of 40 million square feet. So before the tax cuts, that would have been 40 million a year in taxes from cannabis. Current taxes are now just over 50 cents a square foot, which before the cuts would have been 26 million in taxes, but with the cut should be 13 million in taxes. What we found out is that just over 80% of the the cannabis permittees had either reduced canopy or opted out this past year. So tax funds received were down to $2.3 million. Rescind that. So that's one of the things that's coming up in the exclusion thing. So if people are concerned about that, I suggest that, you keep watch on this.
Okay, thank you. Spring Valley update. Tony?
Yeah. Hang on. We've had somewhat of a share of a flare-up in crime up there, a few things going on, and how about now? No? How about, the microphone's not getting any louder. Hello? That's it? Okay. So we've had some crime up there. I feel like the quad runners and the motorcycles are out of control. They're now going on private land and driving through private land and tearing up the people's properties, and that's not counting the just pay attention. Even a lot of the properties that are vacant, that don't have people living there, if you don't know your neighbors, I got a hold of my neighbor and we got permission from them to do the lot next to us. So they don't always remember or understand that it's required to be done for the protection of other people. So if you know somebody who's got a situation like that or a financial situation, go up and talk to them. Ask them if you can help them to put them in the right direction. You guys probably know Wynn by now, as many times as she's been here, but I think that's the big thing right now that we're having trouble with. We're having people that are irreverent to the community, and it's not just I don't want out. I don't know how many other people did, but let's hope that we get another chance, because I don't think we got really an opportunity to choose if they were going to raise the water rates as much as they did. And for a community that's largely like the trailer park and stuff, retired people, it's a big deal. So I think that's kind of what we have going on. When you're talking about the roads and the PG&E and stuff, we have the same problem, and we were one of the first people to get our roads done, and there are some problems out there. And as near as I can tell from what I've talked to people about, PG&E is going, that's pretty much all we're going to do. So
your roads are pretty destroyed still?
Yeah, they're not as bad as like High Valley, because you guys don't have as much of a shoulder and stuff where your roads are, and we have a lot of flat area, but it is, there are same time. That's what I believe. All right, I got the rant. That's enough. Thanks, guys. And thank you for coming here. I love seeing you guys out here and doing all this.
Any question?
Specific comment. What concerns me about High Valley and Spring Valley is one way in, one way out.
Yep. I've been talking to them about this for years.
It scares me when you have a fire out in Spring Valley.
Oh, yeah.
And it scares me when you guys have those roads blocked because of those big trucks.
Oh.
Emergency vehicles cannot get up.
Yeah. Well, the fire was on Saturday or Sunday, and it was right up the road from how far do you think that was from the bridge work? 50 yards? Yeah. It was on the street where the road is being built, so, yeah. Yeah. Well, we've talked about that before, and it kind of, nothing got done through the...
Okay.
Oh, we got our bridge done tomorrow. They're going to bring in, 22 trucks of concrete tomorrow. They're going to pour on the bridge going up the Chalk Mountain.
Okay, well, I guess I'm next. Can you hear me? All right, I have the High Valley Road traffic and road condition issues update. I have not done any additional traffic studies because PG&E was in there all the time, and it was just skewed numbers. They would block my camera most of the time anyway, and so I wasn't getting any good numbers about traffic flow. So I don't have anything on that. I did actually, and we all know the road condition is horrible after PG&E, so I'm just going to kind of piggyback off of that, because today I went to the county courthouse, to the Public Works Department, and I spoke with Ingrid Ingrid, she's the engineer that is the contact person for PG&E. So she works directly with PG&E, and I didn't bring my card. Dale? Wait a minute, no, hang on. Okay, her name is Ingrid Tizell. She's the engineering technician, and she works with Jim Hale, who is the road superintendent. Jim was not available to speak with, but Ingrid did discuss the situation with me. I asked a number of questions, which I got some quasi-answers, not really great, but let's see. So I asked who was overseeing the project, and she's kind of like, overseeing, you know. So Jim Hale and her work with PG&E, and I guess Glenn March is the new Public Works Director. So I didn't get a chance to speak with him. He was unavailable as well, the road. So I don't know if EJ has... Well, I'm going to ask for if you have more information, because I'm just repeating what one of my neighbors told me that they heard from another neighbor. So it's, you know, this telephone game. So I believe that our county is responsible for the work that PG&E is doing here, because they should be overseeing it, and they should have somewhat of a backbone to enforce the fact that PG&E's got all the money in the world and we don't. It isn't fair to our little county to be paying for the restoration of the damage that they've done to our roads. I think that our county really needs to step up and say, look, these roads were in much better condition than what you're leaving them. They're unsafe now, and they will be even more unsafe after the winter rains come. And just down to it, PG&E destroyed. There's a huge drop off. Some guy just recently went over in his truck and grounded out the bottom of his truck. So I explained that also to our lovely Ingrid, and she wrote notes down to speak with Jim and Glenn, and I asked her if there was any way I'd be able to get any other information by my 4 o'clock meeting, and she's like, probably not. So that's what I know, but I do want you to know that I did go to the county to actually speak with someone directly to try to figure out what's going on. And again, I agree with all of you that we need some more transparency on this. We need points of contact for who we can get information from, that's solid information. My neighbor Lori, I have tasked her with going back to one of the planning commission meetings when we had, I'm certain he was a surveyor. If we need to escalate to the PUC about what's going on here, if we need to get the other people around the county that are experiencing these road problems after PG&E, get them speaking up and involved, I honestly believe there's powers in numbers. And so if our entire county started making some noise, maybe we would need to pay attention to us and take us seriously. But we got to stand up and start saying this is not okay. So that's my opinion.
Yes.
I agree fully with you. Let them know that we are aware. One of the things maybe we can do is get a representative from PG&E to join our meeting at some time. And really, between High Valley Road and... Fairly clean of the damage, because they drove their trucks over it, but they didn't do any undergrounding. They did create some potholes, and they did a couple bits of patching work. But for the most part, that stretch is it's nice. It was very smooth. They literally took up each lane of the road for 3.5 miles and redid it, and then re-chip sealed it and restriped it. And it was smooth and beautiful. It was the best road that we've ever had, and I've been there for 24 years. So that happened in 2021 when that marijuana grow, Sowers was, trying to get in there. And I think there was a hand dealt, they pushed that whole little project to make it easier for their trucks to get in and out.
because we were complaining about the road conditions back then with regards to the,
It's a very, very sharp turn. On June 4th and June 5th, there were back-to-back semi-trailer accidents, which caused the the road to shut down for many, many hours. One of the comments was made by Highway Patrol that they felt that the length of the trucks allowed on that road is too long, and that he would make a suggestion to fix that problem. I don't know where that suggestion went, but with Maria and Lori Carrera, on the 22nd of August, I sent an email to Glenn March, our new department, and, health, safety, and welfare. That's what it's all about. So it's my opinion it's time to drop the big hammer, and that big hammer is Supervisor Crandall. If you could help us get a response out of Mr. March, I would really appreciate it, because we've heard nothing. What we need to do is to get that whole situation straightened out so we don't have this problem again. Could you do that for us, please? Thank you.
Thanks, Jack.
TJ,
All right.
you did sit there?
Okay. Lake Village Estates, senior community concern.
I think you should chime in at every opportunity on these topics, is my opinion. What do you guys think? We want to hear from you.
I just don't want to.
Well, I know, and I'm new to this, so I'm so new to this, I'm just a bulldog, I don't know. I'm just gonna do what I think I need to do, and somebody can tell me if that's not protocol. Thank you.
Trying to find my backbone.
Hey, good, that's what we want. I got you, Lynn.
Make sure.
Yeah, so,
Got your back.
yeah, when I find it, maybe that person or whoever has it can help us with Lake Billsbury. I let him know about that. He's putting it on the capital improvement plan to try and get a bridge for that, because I explained to him what it looks like, gave him pictures, so he understands that that needs to go on the capital improvement plan, so we can have a bridge and there's an extra outlet for that. I do like the idea about what the email that was sent about a month ago about the length of the truck and whose jurisdiction it is and whatnot. So I think we need to get that answer quick so we can put something like that up, because we all know it happens on Highway 175 all the time. It's the same type of situation there. So so we need to get him here. Are you wanting me to help you facilitate him getting here for October?
I don't know, I can't answer that yet. Pam does the scheduling, and I'm just,
Yeah. I can get Tormino here. I mean, yeah, we're having, so I mean, we're meeting with PG&E consistently about right now, because it's been such a situation with the Potter Valley Dam, Scott Dam and all of that. There's been a couple of things that we've found out that have really even made it more frustrating about this whole thing we call transparency when it comes to PG&E, and some things they didn't show us. So yeah, there's a lot more going on with those guys. But with this situation, I'm not sure if we can get the contractors. That's one of the other things that we've been grilling them about, is the contractors they use, because commonly they're not from here. I think we've talked about that before, and so we want them to do better. And so let's get them here, and I can help facilitate that so you can have your chance. I'm even willing to bring them and talk about this in the county like we did last year. Same situation. If it wasn't just the road situation, it was also the trees. Actually, that's what it was about last time, was the trees. It wasn't about the roads, but let's get them here for these road situations, because it's PG&E is doing this in Spring Valley, here on High Valley, and I know there's other areas too. So Cobb, that's right, it is Cobb. So let's work on getting them here, but I'll also work on getting them there as well. So maybe there's another way you all can come and, chime in along with with the Cobb Mountain people. So I'll work on that and let you know. I'll send it to Chuck and Holly so they can get it out. And we've been wanting them to come talk to us about Scott Dam as well. We're like, hey, come in front of us and talk about this. I talked to the vice president about it, that they have a new vice president. And so I asked him, and instead we got meetings. We're meeting with them at least, but so that's where that's at. And when I was approached or emailed about the road working, and you said there's really not anything going on.
I saw a crew out there marking more,
Yeah.
spray paint marks on the other areas, and then they were throwing out some gravel into some areas. But I don't know. I don't know what their fix is, but right now it's like, what are they doing? What's the plan?
Okay.
We don't know what the plan is. Is there a plan? That's what we want to know.
So what we'll do is,
Yeah, something.
first, let's try to get them here, but at the same time, you asked a question, you need me to get that to you sooner than that. I wouldn't want to wait a month to get you that question you're asking to him right now when it comes to the most recent email that I seen you send them, right? So I can work on that with you, but at the same time, let's work on getting him here with PG&E and the large meeting on October.
Just a quick question, because if you remember back to the last meeting that Scott did when he came to before he retired, and he was talking about how he was having weekly meetings with PG&E because of all the problems. I'm wondering, can you talk to county council and see what the parameters are for PG&E? Like, do they just have free reign? Because they're coming out our way next. And they're making their way through Benmar Canyon right now, and we're getting nervous out there hearing what's going on everywhere else. And our roads are private. So, can you talk to county council between now and then and ask them, like, do they have priority they have to work within? Or, I know it's a utility,
I will do that. I will do that. And we're dealing with it on the Scott Dam thing too. It's like, it seems like once we get somewhere where we think we have them, something happens and they get away with it again. But that doesn't mean I'm going to stop. We're still going to, we're fighting them on 3 different, fronts basically, if that makes sense. But we'll continue in this road situation, at least if we can get, that can get them possibly in a way to help us aside from that situation. I don't know, but we got to try something with them because it doesn't feel like they're giving any inches to us on any level. So,
Blackout day, everybody shuts off their power.
and he didn't tell me. I didn't get into that, but now that you have asked me that, I can make sure. But I assume that he is, but that was not good for me to assume that. Yes.
I am right now. I'm supposed to be getting there.
Who regulates PG&E? I'll repeat that because he didn't have a microphone, but that's what he's asking, is if there's anyone speaking with those folks. And at our legislative policy advisors over RCRC do that with us. And so what I can do is, let me put this on my list because there is discussions and I want to make sure that I get some of that out to you. They do have it in writing, so. All right. All right. And go ahead.
It's time for PG&E contractors to slaughter our streets and feet, and I don't know where else to go. It's more than neighbors, because of the power line.
Mm-hmm.
A couple years ago, my neighbor, they shared this tree, and I think the trees were there every month.
Yeah.
I find it
Job that they're doing out here. So do we know how many other counties are involved with this? Because they're going to have the same problems, and I don't know how mad we want to make PG&E, but maybe more than one county should be talking to them at the same time.
We are at RCRC. That's where we're talking. Jessica just went to the meeting 2 weeks ago to talk to them about these things as well. And so we go monthly to meet with them, and it's the same conversation. And so it's at least 30 to 40 counties talking with them. But again, let's see and get them here to a county board meeting, and let's make sure that everyone calls in or comes to talk to them about this again.
Okay.
Good.
I just want to say one thing, I messaged Glenn,
Mhm.
Mark, after
in their rates, doesn't include road work.
Okay.
I mean, he went on about some big promises and stuff, and he we would be disappointed and that road are not being worked
Rates for PG&E,
to fix the roads.
right?
So in other words,
Your rates from PG&E and your bills. Go on to your next item, or do you got something else?
Go ahead, you might as well. do we
You
have
said,
anything
oh,
from
there's a
the-
couple things, then I can go on real quick if you'd like, but you can just continue, and then I'll come up when the next thing comes up, because I know it's Lake Village Estates is next, right?
Yeah,
I'll let one of their representatives come up, and then we'll go from there. Because I don't want to miss their time, they wanted to be on for that, and... No? Okay, well, you want me to just talk about what we did, or?
yeah, we've got two other items, I mean, besides your update, on the lighting districts, we can come back into.
We got to get Robin to come and talk about, or someone from special districts to talk about the lighting district. I know the past couple months, it's been at LAFCO, right? Yeah, and we haven't heard where it's went from there, since Scott left.
Yeah, we should have her here anyway. 'cause
Nothing
she's
from
new.
LAFCO?
No,
Okay.
not that I know of, yeah. But let me put that on there. And then, Tony, you asked about a camera situation last month when we were talking about Flock.
Yeah.
We're items coming to talk about the cameras renewal, so that's what the delay is. Once we renew, then
That's okay.
we can specify.
I kind of looked at the road out there, and if you go by the number of people I know that can't get any cell service going down New Long Valley Road, we probably can't move them.
Okay.
So, but maybe.
And then you were talking about the water rate thing. Do you want me to kind of talk about that too?
No.
And then the meeting last month talking about it. There's also going to be a meeting tonight to talk more about it. On the 10th, everybody that has affected by it or has a letter, that's a ratepayer or an owner per se, can bring a letter in that day. They need 51%, and I think it's like 200 something, right? Wayne, go ahead. No, they could be in the day of, and I understand. That's why I met with them too, because I got all of these different stories as well. So I let, I think it was one of the ladies out there that was collecting letters to
I don't
make sure
remember
that
their
she
names
knew.
either.
What's that?
I don't remember their names either, but yeah.
The what?
I don't remember their names either, but they
I
collected
can't
some, and then a lot of them were mailed too, but without talking to them.
They can bring them in too. So that's the other thing.
Yeah.
You can bring them in that day. They can collect them up till that day.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cindy?
I just want to clarify that the water rate adjustment is on the agenda for the
Yes.
10 minutes. It's not
Oh, only for 10 minutes? Okay. No, it's not. It's that, yeah. It's special districts to the Board of Supervisors that day. They're presenting to us that they want to do a rate increase. The ratepayers and the people who live in Spring Valley are saying, no, we would like to see something different. They're looking to try and get the 51%, the 200 and something voters. That's not you, but the others are. And from the special meeting, there was, you guys had a statement, right? Or
There have been 2 CSA meetings when public was invited, the presidents were invited, was, and also our town council.
Mhm.
Tonight is just an update, talk about what the process is, what's going to happen, what's going to happen, if it passes or if it fails, how, the board is working with special districts around, looking at leaks,
Mm.
behind users, looking at ways, to better finance for it. So, I just gave you
That's basically what's going to happen, okay. Unless you have a question. And Village Estates, I mean, when you guys are ready, I can.
I don't know what you want to do. You want to?
are
You
we on
want to
the,
jump to Lake Village Estates?
Well,
Or
I
you want
mean-
to just,
you didn't talk to them,
Yeah?
did it?
huh?
I'll stand with you so that
We didn't talk to them yet?
I don't think so, did we?
No.
All right, well, let's get them cleared. Lake Village
Let's-
Estates, did we talk to them, or?
Yeah.
Okay, great, thank you.
Hello, thank you. Gail Delane from Lake Village Estates. There are other people here who are from Lake Village Estates and probably want to say something briefly as well. The Hammer, Supervisor Crandall, did come to Lake Village Estates to speak with us, and we're really grateful for that, and we're very grateful to be on the agenda today. We still have the same complaints and things that we're trying to work through. Our park was purchased by Boa Vida Corporation, and we went from a private owner who lived on park property to a corporate owner. And we're trying to make our way through that and find out mainly what the limits of things are. So it's good that we're in an open forum. If there's anyone here who can help us with that, if there's anyone here who's a retired attorney and wants to speak with us, we're trying to find out what the limits of what they can do. That's what I wonder. I wonder yearly, how much can space rent go up for a senior park? And we've looked online, we're all trying to become little researchers of all these things. How many pass-through charges can they give? The coat that they put on, a spray paint coat, is now cracking and coming up. And that was $63,500. So, and we weren't given notice of any of these things. We were just given the pass-through charges 60 days prior to them starting to charge us in our space rent. The charges that we're being charged in our space rent will go through 2029. So, as I said, the Hammer was there. Supervisor Crandall came to our, it helped tremendously. He came to speak with us. When we first stood here before all of you, he was kind enough to stay after the meeting and speak with us. He then came to our park to speak with the Fuller community. And it was only because we posted a notice who have come as new owners since the new ownership of the park has come, and I believe they may have leases, but the majority of us don't. We were told at this meeting that Supervisor Crandall was kind of the intermediary between us and them. We were told that in October we would have fresh new leases and fresh new rules and fresh new everything, but we don't trust them, and communication's been bad, so we don't really know what to expect. So the old leases were probably from...
Rumor is the two girls that are managers, they're only like 20-something years old. They want to move them in the park, which would be going against their rules of 55 plus. So how, they always want to break the rules, their own rules. And they use the law against us, but when we go after them with the law, they're all, we don't know anything, They're pretty much sneaky. I mean, basically, like PG&E. They're crooks. Yeah, it's really not, I'm not really prepared for this.
My suggestion is you document everything, every interaction that you have with these people, what's happening, what's going on. Try to...
Trying to evict, is it because she refused to pay the increase?
No, they were late on rent.
Oh, so
And I guess they did it 3 times, yeah.
Right.
What was that gentleman's name?
Well, we're gonna have to move along, because
Yeah, he did really good that day. But yeah, so it really worked the way we thought it would when we talked here. And so one of the things that came out of it too was, in the end, they started mentioning, well, when we bought the place, the taxes went up. The county raised the taxes, and I says, okay, can you show me that information so I can see? Because I do know the assessor will sometimes do that with different properties. And have you got that information, and have you protested or appealed it and brought it to us? Because you are operating a senior living facility, so maybe there's something we can talk about in that capacity. I don't know, but it's worth a discussion. And so that's one thing I'm waiting on for them, so we can ensure that there may be something there. I don't know, but either way, that's one thing I mentioned. I know you all probably remember that. Well, that's what that's what I mean, and I took notes. I said, so you are going to keep the seat? Yeah, oh yeah, we put it online, and that's what we reminded them as well. You can't just put things online and expect people to think that that's like, oh, I'm going to post it at the building and expect everyone to know it was posted. That's one of those things. So they did, and we'll just reiterate that next time we meet, because that they'll more than likely have someone there, right? And so Maria was exactly right. Gail, you did a great job keeping all the documents and putting them in front of us. And so, we can continue that. They even talked about possibly putting together an HOA. I don't know how that looks, though, because then you would have to pay more, right? And so that's what we're trying to do. Mm-hmm. Right. Right. And when right, and they were like, "Oh yeah," but of course they'd say that because they'll be able to collect more. Yeah.
Getting together, throwing parties, just trying to celebrate.
Yeah. Well,
There's always
either ordinance or resolution putting that in place. Yeah. Well, it's a county council situation, but in the 2 weeks I can give you a better update on that. Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, I'm glad you mentioned it, because we did talk about that. Yeah. And right. And short of me getting county council here, that's about the best I can give you. Yeah. Well, you're doing great. You're doing great, and I'm glad that we met, and we're continuing on. Let's set a meeting after this for 2 weeks so we can have more information for everybody.
We got about 10 minutes, so if you want to do your updates, you got any other updates you want to do?
Well, let me see. I don't know what I have here. For here or for yours? Right, and we talked about here or there. Right, okay. Right, and so we did talk about some safety concerns that you all had because of, I guess I don't know if it was you or someone else saying there was gangs going by or something like that, and they weren't closing the gate or anything like that. And so I mentioned, and I think we talked about it last meeting, was that there is, so the roadmap task force for Clear Lake Oaks has now come to an end, and it's morphed into what's called community-oriented police target restoration, which focuses Nice and Lucerne, but it still has the ability to come out and serve the other areas as well, especially Clear Lake Oaks, Upper Lake. And so it's added a budgetary position for two law enforcement, and they will be able, it's funded for 3 years. So it's not a pilot, it's funded for 3 years, and it will still have the ability to come here. So yeah, how that looks, it should be starting here after the budget's passed. We already put it forward, so. Right, and so that's what I was talking with Tony about as well, because the camera that was out at Sulphur, it keeps getting broke because they dumped there. And so now that we're renegotiating the camera contract, that's where we're going to dictate where that's going to be, in the spot I've already designated that spot that we're talking about that will catch, because where it's at right now is just Sulphur Bank Road, and so it's right by the Rancheria. It keeps getting shot out and broke, so we're looking at having the area right on the front of the highway and where it meets, so that way you can catch that entry and exit point, and then on the top of the hill. And they already have one going out towards Clear Lake. So now we have, right now we don't know who's in the middle on top of the hill, unfortunately. So getting that in the middle is the key, right? And so that's where that's going to take place. Mm-hmm. And is there a place, while I'm negotiating this for Double Eagle, because we talked about it before, is there a place that catches cell service yet with all these towers? That was a joke because I know we're having issues with towers here, sorry. Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right, well, let's talk after. Let's make sure we get something because you guys need one out there. All right. That's what's going on with the law enforcement. And I do know that there shouldn't be shortages. I don't know if anyone's been told that when it comes to, I know that when I've met with the sheriffs, they haven't mentioned anything about it. They've put on some new, or recruited some new folks and swore them in about 8 months ago, 6 months ago. And so backfilling the corrections and hiring for dispatch has been one of the problems, and apparently they've been able to take some measures to recruit and keep some folks. So, right, all right, and that was the excuse before, was we don't have the resources because they have to do dispatch and corrections, but we've given them what they need to do that. So yeah, and they hired some folks. So, sir, what were you?
I live down in the Oaks, and I've noticed lately when the police cars are in town, there's like two together. I see that a lot, where they pile up, they sit in the parking lot together, and then one will go and the other one follows. And then I'm wondering, is that training going on, or?
It could be because they do have some new folks. Yeah, they are training some new folks, but aside from possibly the road map task force still being in place, because I remember that's what they did before, and they would sit there because they couldn't leave the areas. So that's another reason why it morphed from road map task force, because they were only focused in Clear Lake Oaks, is what they were telling us. So we switched it to the copter, so that now they don't have to just focus on East and Lucerne. If there's a problem here in Clear Lake Oaks and the regular deputies are having issues, they should be able to come over and support them and then go back later. That was what we were, when we met, that's what they talked about. Sheriff-elect Bingham had mentioned that, and then his two lieutenants helped.
I love it when they're here, man. It's great to see them. And I had actually seen them around the Plaza Park above Nylander in the evenings, and that's kind of rare before, but down there.
So what we need to do too is for when the budget comes forward, I want to post this for you guys so you know ahead of time, because we usually determine the day if there's a report from the sheriff when it comes to their budget item. That way there can be comments or anything like that. I try to get some other folks to come in and say that as well, so they know and see the presentation as well, to say what's going on in the copter. Is it really going to be something that can go everywhere? Or are you going, because it's good to get that those comments in as well. But of course, I'll definitely bring those things up too.
Yeah, it's nice to see them.
Yeah.
We love them. I mean, when they're there.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Unfortunately not.
That was some left field.
Ma'am?
Back to the last two things, new business and announcements.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I can get you, the guy that used to be the main contact, he was in Lucerne, Kevin Wasick, he passed, but I can find where there's another person working with him, and I know him. He doesn't live here no more, but he can guide me. Yeah. He used to be a deputy. Yeah. Because that would help, those signs, sometimes they're deterrent, sometimes, Yeah. All right, that's that. Gail?
Okay. Yeah. It was great work, Holly.
All right.
All right, move on. Next item.
I'm good.
You done?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody wants to meet with EJ after the meeting, just
I'm
stick
staying.
around.
Yeah, I'm staying.
Any new business? I should have known.
Okay, so Community Development sent me their project spreadsheet yesterday afternoon, and I found out that a company called Next Grid Solar is proposing a 6 megawatt solar array in the empty lot right here on the corner across from the Moose Lodge. They're also, we're still having that second cell tower that's an incomplete application here. Anyway, it's a 20-acre empty parcel. 6 megawatts is nearly double the size of the wastewater treatment plant in Lakeport. I mean, that's a lot of solar panels. I did request more information from community development, but they haven't gotten back to me on anything. So.
Thank you. Okay. Next meeting is October 2nd.
We got an announcement. I got one announcement.
You got any announcements?
I have one announcement. Okay, so, am I on here? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, so the Clear Lake Oaks Market happens the first Saturday of every month from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. through November in Nylander Park. That was the Makers Fair. They did the craft fair, a flea market. So they're just going to call themselves the Clear Lake Oaks Market because they do new things and used things and craft stuff. It's just a combination of stuff, but they will be there every first Saturday of every month from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. through November. They're going to take December off, and I'm told I asked when will you resume, and she said spring. So I don't really have a hard date on when they will come back, but I encourage you all to